Hello, and welcome back to Of the People. I am Robert Chernin with my lovely co-host,
Ericka Redic.
And we are back. Thanks for staying with us. Ericka, lots more we can talk about right to bear arms and Second Amendment.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I nerd out on that topic.
Is that what you call it?
I love it. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
So one of the things we talked about in the first segment that I want to focus on is this sort of attack on the institutions, because right to bear arms protects those freedoms in the First Amendment, and the First Amendment is, in a civil society, gets decided in the courts. So the Democrats are clearly coming after the judicial system, and by that I don't just mean the Supreme Court, but we obviously had three, I would say, blockbuster decisions: affirmative action, ruling against affirmative action, right? Ruling against, freedom of, or for freedom of religion when it comes to that web design, and what was the third one? Oh, and against the student loan bailout, right?
Yep.
But and we talked about, the justices and, Justice Thomas, really scathing rebuke to Justice KBJ.
Yep.
And then obviously Justice Gorsuch, scathing rebuke of Sotomayor. But did you hear what Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Jackson Brown, was it Brown Jackson?
Brown Jackson.
Excuse me. I want to get that right. I don't want to be respectful. Came out afterwards and said that basically that we need affirmative action because black doctors are going to help the mortality rate of black children by over 2 to 1. So that more black children are going to die unless they have black doctors. Did you see that one?
What?
Wait, there's always a source. Come on. So she basically came out, if I can read this, I think I need lights.
Oh,
that
my
says
gosh.
It saves lives. This is Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. That affirmative action saves lives. Diversity saves lives. For marginalized communities in North Carolina, it is critically important at UNC, et cetera, et cetera. For high-risk black newborns, having a black physician more than doubles the likelihood that the baby will live and not die. I don't make this stuff up.
Oh my God.
God is my witness. I mean, that's why I always read stuff, because some of the things I say, people go, Chernin, you must be full of, baloney.
Oh my God. Well, and it's just so, it boggles the mind.
This is our Supreme Court Justice.
It boggles the mind, especially when you consider the fact that in places like New York City, the most dangerous place for a black child is in his mother's womb. Black babies.
Ooh, that's it.
Black. Okay. Oh, you're gonna get me going now. You are more likely.
Monistan, why should today be different?
Serious. Oh my God. You seriously, going? That is a statistic. The most dangerous place for a black child in New York is in his mother's womb.
Explain
because
that
he
to
is
me.
more.
Wait, make it short, because I want to understand this. I don't do long, I do short. Explain this.
He's more likely, that baby is more likely to be aborted than to be born alive. More black babies are aborted in New York than are born.
Excuse me. Planned Parenthood was founded by Margaret Sanger, who was a racist, and she founded it because she wanted to abort black babies.
This what I'm saying.
I mean,
can't believe it.
I understand that Planned Parenthood has evolved into this multi-billion-dollar business, and all they really care about, is baby parts and abortion, so that they can get, funnel money.
They put Planned Parenthoods in black and brown neighborhoods, as they say, in order to kill their children.
Yeah. Okay, folks, look it up.
KB?
This is not conjecture. No. This is fact. So, fact. All right. So here's the thing that also is now going. No. Okay. You're good. It's my job to rein you in.
Wild. Does this woman not know history or like?
Well, no. Now she says that she got the wrong facts. Yeah, but you're the Supreme Court Justice. You have a host of clerks. So the study you're quoted. First of all, they quoted the study wrong, and I won't bore the listeners, but I have the study referenced here. Right? She quoted it wrong, but that's why. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas came out and said, that she sees the world through just, a racial lens, and that's just not so, right? I mean, I hate to preach, but we are supposed to be moving towards a society where someone is judged by the content of their character. Oh, and by the way, your factual basis of your arguments and not the color of your skin.
So
it's like I said, go ahead.
No, sorry. The Supreme Court justice who was picked for affirmative action because she was black, literally because she was black, got the facts wrong.
Of course.
In her argument.
But that's okay. Well, she's new. Maybe a year or two from now, she'll get better clerks and better facts. I don't know.
I'm going to get in so much trouble for saying this.
But wait a minute. So under the heading of this, war, but I want to be serious for a second, if I can.
Okay.
Which I know is hard for me, you and Nadia, because of just how we kibitz, right? So, So we talked about first they go against, man's laws, right? You want to get rid of man's laws, you get rid of law enforcement, and then you go after the judiciary. And it's not just the Supreme Court that we're talking about.
Yeah.
But at the Supreme Court level, after those decisions, you now have people, now the new mantra is expand the court, right?
Oh, yeah.
Again, same thing the Democrats do. It's that mute button we talked about. They don't want an argument.
Yep.
They would rather mute you, push the mute button, or censure you. So now they want to expand the court. Here's the question. How long has the Supreme Court had 9 justices?
I don't think it started with 9. I think
it did not start with 9, and it went up and down. But how long?
Oh God, at least 100 years.
1869.
Oh gosh. Okay, so even longer.
1869.
Okay. So 150 years.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah.
So now they want to expand the court, which is a euphemism for packing the court, right? So because we don't like the decisions, and then you get, the squad. I don't know why they called them the squad. You should probably call them the hit squad because of what they're trying to do. So you've got then Congresswoman Cori Bush, who basically says the Supreme Court is corrupt, right? And continues to fail the people of this country. Then you have Ayanna Pressley, Congresswoman, who says, with this court demonstrating time and again its contempt for the people, every option must be on the table. Expand the court. Our lives and our democracy depend on it. And I can read you 4 or 5 other quotes from, whether it's AOC. So, but let's step back for a second, and I want your comments on this. Look at what they're doing. So what they're really trying to do is either expand the court or delegitimize the court, which is the last of the 3 branches that has any legitimacy at this point.
Yeah.
And here's a question, isn't that really just another attack on the Constitution?
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Their whole thing, the left, right? Our opponents on the other side, Democrats, their solution is if we don't like the outcome, destroy it.
Right.
If we don't like the outcome, make it go away. La 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 la. And let me just say, Cori Bush, top 5 dumbest congresspeople ever to be elected. She is as dim as a bulb that has.
And I have to interrupt you.
I don't want to call people names.
I have to interrupt you. She may be a lot of things. She is not dumb. I have always said that the other side, the other camp, and I can label them differently, right? Is not dumb. They are determined. They are focused.
You're right.
And they are smart.
Right.
And
you're right.
What I think about this person or that person personally is irrelevant to the battle for the heart and soul of America and what we are trying to restore. Right.
Correct.
So no disrespect.
Right. No, you're dumb. Right. No, you're right. You're right. And
I find her an anathema because of her beliefs and her political position.
Well,
she's not dumb.
Falling into the trap of calling them names is just
Can't do that.
is just helping them out in the end. The reality is, you're right. They don't like the outcome. They don't like our rights and duties and responsibilities.
Right.
They want a specific outcome, and so they're going to do their best to delegitimize and corrupt whatever system stands in the way of them maintaining power, taking and maintaining power. And it is the fact that Actually, statistically speaking, if you look back at history, oftentimes the American people, if they know there's a Supreme Court justice who's either thinking about retiring or nearing the end of their life, they will actually vote for more conservative presidential candidates in order to make sure that that seat is protected. So there was actually a strong call for Ruth Bader Ginsburg to step down during the Obama administration. Yep.
Right.
They
So he could
wanted
appoint.
her to correct when Obama was still president, and she didn't. And what happened? Donald Trump got to appoint three Supreme Court justices.
Kavanaugh, Gorsuch, and Amy Coney Barrett.
That's right. And now we actually have a Supreme Court that is more originalist, that is actually protecting the Constitution from the likes of the squad who would love to tear it down. Which is why they want to
expand. And by the way, expand the court, protect our freedoms, expand the court. Right.
Yep.
And that's what they're doing with this. But I want to take this to a different place as well. We focus on the Supreme Court. But it's not just at the Supreme Court level, because as we've discussed, the Supreme Court only hears a certain number and very small number of cases every term, right?
Yep.
Most of this is at the appeals court level or at the federal district court level. So, for instance, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, which is the famously West Coast. Trump appointed a bunch, and I think he changed the composition somewhat, but it still has what I would say is an ardently liberal bent. So they just came out and said that vagrancy on public lands, the police cannot move you off. So basically, Ninth Circuit allows homeless camps on public property.
Yep.
Right? Now, the Ninth Circuit, folks, is the single most overturned court of appeals in the country. For a reason. So basically, and again, I'm not against the homeless, but again, no one wants to talk about the mental health issues. And when there are beds or when there are clinics or facilities that these people can go to and they don't want to go, the police in, let's say, San Francisco or in Portland now cannot move them off of public grounds, even if they're moving them into a shelter.
Yep.
So they have the right to be on public property for an encampment. So if someone defecates, outside. And again, if you've been to San Francisco, folks, or if you've been to Oakland, right, or you've been, East Bay or into Portland, which I have, this is the third world country. So again, I think it gets overturned by the Supreme Court, but that's why you can't just focus on who your senator is. You can't just focus on who even the president is.
That's right.
You can't just focus. You have to focus on a lower level. On things like that. And you even go down to the district level because now they're in the fight. Right. And I assume you saw that. I want to say it was a federal judge in, I think, Louisiana, who basically ruled against the Biden administration and put a stay on their communication with any of the big tech companies. Did you see that one?
Yep. Exactly.
I love that.
I love it. I love that we're starting to see some of these local governments, local judiciaries fighting back against a tyrannical federal government. That is what we need to see. I love that you're bringing this up because so much of the time, the news coverage of all the salacious nonsense that the federal government is doing is where Americans are focusing their attention, not realizing that the real power is in your city council, your school board, your state house, your local commissions, Texas, as an example, county government is top dog here. So your county commissioners, your county judges, these races affect your life way more than even the outrageous nonsense they're doing at the federal level.
Absolutely, which is why, again, that whole civic participation is to understand this has to be seen through the prism of again, folks, October 30th, 2008, then candidate Barack Obama, before the election, said we are 5 days away from fundamentally transforming America. What he was talking about was transforming the institutions of America. And that includes the judiciary. Right? So it's not just the Supreme Court level, it's the federal appeals court level.
That's right.
Right. And if you go back to, not to preach on social studies or civics, right, separation of powers. 1787, when they wrote the Constitution, 11 years prior, we had the Articles of Confederation. They couldn't regulate interstate commerce. They couldn't have a standing army, right? They didn't have the power of taxation. Yep. Because they thought there was this new man that walked the earth called an American. Well, 11 years later, the system was on the verge of failing, basically, right? Mm. They write the Constitution and they create checks and balances not only between branches but within branches. We all know what's happened to the Congress, right?
Yep.
We all know what's happened to the executive branch, right? The legislative branch, the executive branch. The last bastion from an institutional level is the judiciary. So they're going after the judiciary. They're going after the Supreme Court. Expand the court. They're going after the appeals courts and the district courts. And people actually, both sides, frankly, are going judge shopping. But one side is trying to delegitimize the courts because they don't like the decisions.
That's right.
Right. And that's what you're getting. So it has to be understood in this whole battle. What this is an attack on the Constitution.
In Vermont, I know of a minimum, and this affected us, of 3 cases where the Vermont Supreme Court literally said, yeah, we acknowledge the city of Burlington is breaking the law. Yeah, we acknowledge this person is breaking the law. This is wrong. This is a problem. But we're going to allow it to stand. And then they count
all for one for all, or we're sunk.
This is what you guys, this is, if we allow for what sets this country, one of the greatest things that sets this country apart from all of the other ones, which is the rule of law and what is supposed to be fairness and fair treatment for everyone with the same rules under the law. If we lose that, we lose everything.
But that's what they're going after. And folks, we're going to let Ericka be the last word, which I so rarely do. But Ericka is correct, and Ericka is the last word. Folks, we got to go to break. Being the true bourgeois capitalists that we are, and unabashed bourgeois capitalists, we need to go make some money. You're listening to Robert Chernin with
Ericka Redic.
We'll be right back.